The Chipper series is back. This is Milano Max in Rathmines. And I'm very disappointed because I remember getting this about a year and a half ago. And it was really nice. But from what I can see here, they've let themselves go. The chips were black and blue, which means they're not changing the oil in the fryers consistently. And they'd no chicken tenders, so I got chicken nuggets. More like rubber bullets. You could put those in a 50-50 between Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira and they'd come out unscathed. Embarrassing. The chicken burger was a disgrace. No toasted buns. A measly amount of sauce. Couldn't even get a slice of cheese on the poxy thing. The kebab was nice though. I did really enjoy that. But it's not going to save the meal overall. This gets a 4.6. If you want to see some better food than this, I have a new YouTube vlog out in my bio. Up the balls. Love a curry on a Saturday night. We've gone to Lee Key on Parnell Street. And the only thing I got from this was a feckin' leaky arse. First thing I noticed. Why on God's green earth are you putting chicken wings in the spice bag? Okay, if I wanted chicken wings, I'd order a munchie box. Don't give me this half-arse bollocks. No brown tint whatsoever in the egg fried rice. And don't even get me started on the sauces. Like water coming out of those tubs. I might as well have stuck it out in the rain for 10 minutes. Absolute disaster. Normally I'd try and find some positive. But charging $11.90 for a spice bag, you deserve every piece of criticism you get. 2.6 out of 10. And that's being generous. Up the balls. I've been to a UK chicken shop and it was scrap, but trust me when I say it had nothing on this. This is FLC in Balbriggan and I felt like Ross Kemp walking into this kip, like a feckin' construction site. Now I do respect the fact they do chipper chips. You don't really see that out of a chicken spot. Now the wings were laughable. I don't even want to talk about them. But can someone explain why the tenders were white? I've never seen white tenders in my life. But you know anytime I go to a chicken spot, I have to go triple dipping. And they were actually nice dips. I will give it to them. I got a garlic sauce, a taco sauce, and a curry sauce. And the chicken burger as well actually was enjoyable. Nice and crispy, not spicy, but there was some decent flavour of it. So it ended up being salvageable. I'll give this a 5.2. I'm just glad I came out the other side. Up the balls. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm on my way to the chipper and I'm gonna ask them, will they fry a wagon wheel for me? Right, I'm in Marcella's here in Finglas. Let's see what they can do. Sorry, can you fry these? These, you can fry these?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Grand, couple of wagon wheels. No way, boys. He's actually out there doing it. That's a blatant fried wagon wheel. Look at that. Cheers.
I used to do pasta here and then I stopped doing it.
Gold. That's unbelievable. I'm telling you, lads, get into your local chipper and ask them to make you a fried wagon wheel. It'll change your life. Welcome to day one of making a sandwich every single day until Gordon Ramsay sees it. But the 550 sandwich maker doesn't only make sandwiches, it also makes rolls. And by God, have we got a serious roll for this afternoon. I've come out all guns blazing. I've got the rotisserie chicken out, mayo on the outside of the roll, same principle applies. And then we've got black pudding, plastic cheese, and a couple of rashers on there. Lump all that into the 550 sandwich maker and just feast your eyes on the absolute carnage. This is only day one. We're only getting warmed up. Up the balls. The chipper series is back. We've gone to Antonio's in Cabra. Not the biggest bag of chips I've ever seen, but they were nice and greasy. I never understand when people complain about their chips being too greasy. Like you ordered a chipper, not a salad. You little space cadet of a thing. I had real hope for those tenders being spicy. Like just look at them, lads. They looked the part, but it wasn't to be. I enjoyed my chicken burger so much last week. I had to go for one again. And I would argue this one was even nicer. A proper rasher on there as well. And usually when I see a jumbo battered sausage on the menu, it doesn't live up to the hype, but this thing shattered my pride altogether. Look at the size of it. I'm gonna give this place a 9.4. Couple of minor adjustments, but this is top 5 so far. Up the balls. You people haven't stopped asking me to try wood fire pizza, so I've finally done it. This is Vincenzo's, and we got off to a scintillating start with these posh fries. Garlic, bacon and cheese. Pinch of salt and extra garlic sauce. I'm gonna come out and say it. The best loaded fries I've ever had. The tenders were nice and crispy, not quite spicy, but they packed a decent bit of flavour. Now the garlic bread did let me down significantly. Nowhere near enough cheese, and it was far too dry as well. But this pizza, lads, my first ever wood fire fire pizza. We had basil, induja, chili, a few jalapenos, anchovies, the best topping in the pizza game, and a drizzle of hot honey. Just feast your eyes on the absolute carnage. It's not quite a greasy takeaway pizza, but my god, it hit the spot. I'm gonna give this spot an 8.5 out of 10, and this is not a paid review. I always pay for me food, not like some other people on this app. Up the balls. Now, I was in County Kildare recently, and I found a little hidden gem called TGB. But little did I know, they have another branch out in Nice, so I've gone out to see what it's about. I was going mad for these loaded fries since the last time I had them. Cheese, garlic sauce, and plenty of bacon. And if you're not familiar with these, lads, the portion you get out here is monstrous. I then went for the Louisiana wings. Blew the jocks off me altogether, but I don't mind that. You know I love a good mozzarella stick. I expected a bit more of a cheese pull on these, but I still wouldn't turn me nose up at them. But don't get me started on this burger, lads. Look at the quality of that meat. Absolutely scintillating. I gave their branch in a tie an 8.8, and I'm gonna give this a 9.1, just because the loaded fries were a little bit better out here. But either way, it gets my seal of approval. Up the balls. Of a curry on a Saturday night, we've gone to Starry Night in Ranelagh. Proper size spice bag out of here. None of this half portion bollocks. The egg fried rice lacked a bit of brown tint, and that was disappointing, because otherwise, I thought everything else was fairly spot on. The curry sauce was a little bit watery, but I thought the sweet and sour made up for it. The spice bag itself didn't have any veg in it, but it still tasted like it was cooked in veg. It's very hard to describe, but that's a win-win. I'm gonna give this spot an 8.4 out of 10. Not quite up there with the 9s, but if they brushed up on a couple of things, we could have a real contender here. Up the balls. The Chipper series is back. We've gone to April's in Portobello. Now, we actually got off to a good start. Proper chipper chips. None of these skinny little half-looking yolks. And dipped in my famous sauce combo of garlic mixed with red sauce. You just can't go wrong. The tenders were nice and crispy, not spicy, but you know how it is. We're probably not gonna find one. This half pounder, or the gut buster as they call it, was an absolute slobber knocker. The bacon was a bit fatty, but it was still solid. And this kebab tray, lads, nice and saucy, a bit spicy, didn't blow the jocks off me, but it served its purpose. Would have liked to see a bigger portion for a tenner, but overall, I'll still give this an 8.6 out of 10. Up the balls. Domino's have a brand new menu, and I haven't had Domino's in a while, so I said let's try it out. It'd be rude not to. I don't know why I bother with Domino's wedges. They're always in bits, undercooked and soggy. They have this new super cheesy garlic bread, but it's actually less cheesy than their normal garlic bread. But see this lasagna pizza? Not for me. Not for me at all, lads. I asked for no onions, which would have made it a bit better, but they just ignored me. But there was light at the end of the tunnel. These cream egg cookies, lads, absolutely scintillating. I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but I'd probably come back just for this. But as for the overall menu, I'm gonna give it a 5.8. Up the balls. The Chipper series is back. We've gone to the kebab and burger maker in Richmond Street. Awful start altogether. The chips were like mush. Basically a bag of mashed potato. And not only that, they forgot my garlic sauce. And in my eyes, forgetting a man's garlic sauce is worse than sleeping with his wife. It's just something you don't do. The tenders were mediocre, but the burger was quite nice. I mean, listen, my main complaint when I get a burger is that it's not saucy enough. But that wasn't an issue here. And it also wasn't an issue with this kebab tray. But the issue with that was that it had a weird smell off it. Bit of a weird taste as well. I don't want to accuse them of anything, but I'd question the expiry date on a couple of things used here. I don't know, it threw me off a bit. Anyway, I'm gonna give this a 3.7. Not up to scratch, and a lackluster quarter pounder isn't gonna save it. Up the balls. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I absolutely love the Culgies because they single-handedly ended the Burger King versus McDonald's debate and gave us something 10 times better, and that is Supermax. I'm gonna come out and say it. Nicest chicken tenders in Ireland. Now, they're not spicy, but I haven't found a spicy tender yet. But the southern fried flavour is unmatched, and just look how succulent that chicken is. Absolutely scintillating. Now, if you're not familiar, Papa John's is part of Supermax, but I hold them to a different standard. When I seen a cheesy bacon garlic bread on the menu, I started foaming at the mouth, but I was underwhelmed. The cheese was fairly hard and the bacon was falling off it. The pizza is usually better as well, but I'm not going to beat around the bush. Papa John's is one of the top 3 pizzas in Ireland, so they can afford the occasional off day. Overall, I'm going to give this an 8.3. Always a reliable munch. I suppose it just depends which one you go to. Up the balls. Love a curry on a Saturday night. We've gone to Deluxe in Cabinteely. I've never seen more egg in a portion of egg fried rice than this. 10 chickens sacrificed their families to make that. And plenty of brown tint as well. The spice bag was different to what I'm used to. It was like chicken wing chicken. And it was charred with an untraditional barbecue flavour. The sauces were nice and thick like myself. That sweet and sour was coming out like jelly. And when I say that curry sauce was spicy, I mean it blew the jocks off me. Overall, I'd give this spot an 8.7. I do prefer the shredded chicken personally, but I can't fault it otherwise. Up the balls.
What are you doing?
Now hold on, hear me out. So you have your king size pizza, you have your curry, and you're gonna load the entire Chinese onto the pizza. Spread out the curry nice and evenly across that bad boy, and then wrap it up like a big fucking tortilla. Then we're gonna give it a little slice, tear into this, and look at that. Oh my god. Give it a dip in the curry sauce, dip in the sweet and sour. And I'm not messing. If I was in America, I'd be charging $20 for this bad boy. Bow's apple teeth. Love a curry on a Saturday night. We've gone to Yummy Yummy in Drogheda. The spice bag comes in a little 7-inch munchie box, so the portion here is not an issue whatsoever. They even left out the rabbit food as well. Just a couple of jalapenos, but we don't mind those. The curry sauce was lovely and spicy. I wouldn't say it blew the jocks off me. I still came home with me Emporio Armani's, but it came close. But the sweet and sour was nice and flavoursome. Plenty of brown tint on the egg fried rice as well. So all things considered, I'd give this spot an 8.6 out of 10. I enjoyed that boba tea as well. Up the balls. Love a curry on a Saturday night. We've gone to Tasty Garden in Fairview. Monstrous spice bag this was. And it looked nice as well, but I found it very bland. The egg fried rice is meant to have a brown tint, not this bleeding yellow tint. Looked like someone pissed in it. And the curry sauce was a disaster. The sweet and sour was nice, but the curry just tasted like coconut, and I can't stand coconut. Now I have to weigh up the pros and cons when I'm giving a rating. Pros, good portion, nice sweet and sour, and it was piping hot. But the cons on the other hand, bland, horrible curry sauce, and someone took a piss in me rice. So I'm gonna give this a 3.8 out of 10. Up the balls. The chicken series is back. That's right, I'm still on a quest to find the best chicken in Dublin. None of this KFC bollocks. I refuse to be brainwashed. This is Chico in Ranelagh. And you know anytime I go to a chicken spot, I have to go triple dipping. Garlic sauce, chicken gravy, and I went with some buffalo sauce on this occasion. The wings and tenders were nice and crisp, clean bones, which meant they weren't frozen. And I actually thought the chips were okay, even though they were a bit cold when they got here. But that chicken burger was not a bit of me whatsoever. It said it was gonna be spicy. I expected that thing to blow the jocks off me, but my jocks are very much still glued on. I'm gonna give this spot a 7.2 out of 10. It's now Texas fried chicken. Up the balls. Excuse me. If you're sick of seeing me eating Popeyes on this channel, unfollow me. I couldn't give a bollocks. It is the #1 chicken establishment in the world. I don't need to speak about the chips. Best in the world. I don't even need salt on them. And the tenders are crispy, not quite spicy. And this Popeyes is not as good as the one in the UK because they don't have the extra hot habanero. I need the speedos blown off me. The double stacked bacon and cheese chicken burger though, lads. It was saucy, it was sexy, and it was absolutely scintillating. And they don't have wings, which was an almighty buzzkill, but they did have these little cheddar cheese bites. And of course, when you're in Spain, the goat of all holiday drinks, an ice cold Aquarius. So I'm starting a double petition in the comments. I want Popeyes and Aquarius in Ireland by 2025, and I won't stop till it's done. Up the balls. The chipper series is back. We've gone to the highly rated Savoy chipper in Mountjoy. A proper bag of chips you get in here. None of these scaldy little red looking yolks. And the tenders were decent as well. Nice and crispy, not quite spicy, but that's normal nowadays. But mixed with my famous sauce combo of garlic mixed with red sauce, it's very hard to slip up. I then went for 2 burgers, because I was absolutely marvin over. I got the spicy burger, which was nice and tidy, and then a sloppier one, my signature half pounder. And don't get me started on this kebab tray, lads. Absolutely loaded up to the gills, with plenty of sauce, and no shying away with the meat either. The joint highest I've ever given a chipper. I'm gonna go and give this a 9.7. Let me know where I should go next. Up the balls. The last meal of my trip to Belfast, and it was an absolute banger. This is High Burger in the banana block. The tenders were lovely and crispy. I feel like maybe there was a little bit too much batter and not enough chicken, but dipped in my famous sauce combo of garlic mixed with red sauce. It's very hard to go wrong. And I had to go for 2 burgers. I plastered that chicken one in hot sauce, and everyone in the nanny has been telling me to get that lobster burger. I didn't think they'd have it, but I was in luck. I never had lobster before, let alone on a bleeding burger, but now I know that it complements it perfectly. I'm gonna give this spot an 8.8. If the chips were longer cut and there was a bit more meat in those tenders, this would be in the high 9s for sure. Up the balls. Love a curry on a Saturday night? We've gone to Spice Bag. That's right, the actual place is called Spice Bag in Stephen's Green. I don't know why they taped up the sauces as if they were gonna run out of the packet. They were only half filled. Absolutely unnecessary. The egg fried rice completely lacked brown tint, and that's a big no-no for me. You need your brown tint in there. As for the Spice Bag itself, it was nice. I was getting nice flavours off it, but there wasn't enough chicken. Very measly with the chicken portion. But the sauces were nice, even though there was only about a shot's worth in each. But overall, I'd give this a solid 5.6 out of 10. Up the balls. Love a chipper on a Monday night? We've gone to Clanbrassil Street Bistro in Clanbrassil Street, I suppose. And you're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. I've been on the hunt for years. It's the whole reason I started this series. But I've finally found a spicy tender. Now, it wasn't that spicy. It didn't blow the jocks off me. But when I felt that kick in my mouth, lads, no sensation comes close. They gave me 3 free foot-long sausages, which were absolutely scintillating. But unfortunately, it did go downhill from here, lads. They plastered my half-pounder in rabbit food. It was completely unavoidable. And even when I took it off, you know, I wasn't getting any flavour from it whatsoever. Same story with the kebab. But when I actually started picking around that, the meat was quite succulent. But they also gave me a Fanta Exotic, which I haven't seen in years. So it's a very mixed review. But you know what? I found a spicy tender. So I'm gonna be generous and give this a 7.9. Let me know where I should go next. Up the balls. Love a curry on a Saturday night? We've gone to Q's Kitchen in Terranure, a highly requested one. Now, you know how I feel about this yellow tint bollocks in the egg fried rice, right? It doesn't sit right with me, but I'm gonna let it slide for one reason, and one reason only. This was the biggest spice bag I've ever had in my life. Now, quality-wise, you have to ask yourself, was it the best? And the answer would be no. It lacked flavour, and to be quite brutally honest, so did the sauces. But I always appreciate a good portion, so I'm gonna be fair and give it a 7.1 out of 10. Up the balls. So I went to an all-you-can-eat buffet, and this is everything I ate. I made a beeline for the Chinese section straight off the bat, and I picked up the signature, the nasty special, but that was only the warm-up. I then made myself a little burger, and the feckin' cutbacks, lads. They break your heart. Tiny little burgers. The pizza was surprisingly nice, but they'd no hot dog buns, so I had to bleed and raw dog the yolk. I don't know why I got taco fries. Taco fries are never nice, but I had my best shot at that ice cream machine. I thought I did okay. The robot showed its face to sing happy birthday. Wasn't my birthday. Don't worry, you'd know if it was. But overall, it was a meal fit for a king. Up the balls. Love a curry on a Saturday night? We've gone to Hidden Dojo in Phibsborough. The box looked like it lived through World War II, so that didn't give me any hope to begin with. And you might think they gave me 2 curry sauces, because that's what I thought as well, until I smelled them. And this is definitely the first time that I've ever got a curry and a sweet and sour sauce that had the exact same colour. And I'm sorry, but there's just no scenario where that can be a good thing. I'm expecting to wake up in a crowler tomorrow. The egg fried rice did have a bit of brown tint in it. I'll give credit where it's due, but the portion was measly, lads. I'm sitting here starving. I'm tempted to order a chipper, but overall, this was bog standard. 4.7. Up the balls. The chicken series is back. That's right. I'm looking for the best fried chicken in Dublin. This is Chicken Bar in Crumlin. Scald the amount of chips they gave me. All black and bruised. And you know, anytime I go to a chicken spot, I have to go triple dipping. I opted for garlic sauce, taco sauce, and curry sauce on this occasion. The tenders were bland and flavourless. You could just tell they were frozen. If you call yourself a chicken spot, please put a bit of care into those tenders. And the same goes for those wings. More meat on a sauce bottle than them bones. The chicken burger was a joke. No toasted buns, not even a bit of sauce. I nearly croaked it trying to eat the thing. So overall, this has to be the worst one so far. I'm gonna give it a 2.3. Bog standard. Up the balls. Tonight I'm trying the highest rated takeaway I can find. This is Eskimo Pizza in Dublin 8 and it has a 5-star rating on Just Eat. Very impressive, but do the curtains match the drapes? Now the wedges were just what I was after. They were like Super Value wedges, and Super Value have the best wedges in the game. The tenders were mediocre. I'm still on the hunt for a spicy tender, and this wasn't it. I got these jalapeno poppers and they were alright. I mean, there was a little bit of a kick off them, but they didn't blow the jocks off me. But the pizza, lads, I'm gonna come out and say it. This is the best pizza I've ever had in my life. I don't give a bollocks. The base was crispy, there was a perfect sauce to cheese ratio, and they do my favourite topping, anchovies. Double cheese, sausage, and double anchovies. I'm giving this spot a 9.1. A little brush up on the sides, and nowhere will come close to this. Up the balls. The chipper series is back. We've gone to Silvio's in Crumlin. Now the chips were decent enough, but a bit too soggy for my liking. I prefer the crispy ones, but dipped in my famous sauce combo of garlic mixed with red sauce. You can't go wrong. Now somebody told me that Silvio's have spicy tenders, and if I find that person, it's on sight. These yolks were like biting into a feckin' rubber. And the chicken burger, equally disappointing. No toasted bun, no sauce. Do you think it was raised on the barn? The kebab tray was nice though, loaded up to the gills, and even a little bit of spice in there as well. Small bit of cheese would have been nice, but I'm still giving this a 5.1. Doesn't make up for it. Up the balls. Get some sauce action here.
It's all over the feckin' wheel.
Looking forward to this one.
Oh. It's almost thicker than me. Cheers.
Excuse me. Love a curry on a Saturday night. This is OK in Windy Arbour. Phenomenal size spice bag in fairness. The only issue, they don't read their poxy order notes. They're not there for decoration, lads. Thing was full of veg. Wrecked the whole buzz altogether. No brown tint whatsoever on the egg fried rice. But I have to admit, the sauces were piping hot. No complaints there. Overall, I'll give this a 6.7. It did have some flavour, and the portion was generous. But there was too much wrong with it to get into the 7s. Up the balls. Got plenty of that on there. This is the saltiest crisp in the world. And I say crisp because it's not a chip like these Yanks are saying. Right, let's open this up. I'll give you gloves and all with it apparently. Only one glove. Right, open up. Can't fucking open it. There we go. This won't be a match for me. Give me the salt. Got plenty of that on there. Salt chip challenge. Let's go. It's salty, but it's normal salty. No reaction. I told you, there's no effect. It's a bit of a tearjerker, but overall I'd say it's grand. Nasty 1, salt chip nil. Up the balls. Is this the best new menu that McDonald's have ever had? I don't know. Let's try it out. We start off with the 2 new burgers. First, the Big Tasty. Tasty? A little bit. But big? Absolutely not. Thing's the size of a bun burger. The McSpicy was nice though. Bit of Frank's hot sauce on there and a few jalapenos. Blew the jocks off me. The mozzarella sticks are back, which is always good to see. But what I was probably most looking forward to on the whole menu was the white chocolate and raspberry pie. But instead, they just gave me 2 of these pink ruby McFlurries. If I wanted a vanilla ice cream with about half a spoon of sprinkles, I would have asked for it. So I'm raging now. But overall, I'll give this menu a 6.4. Underwhelming. Up the balls. There's the chocolate in the bowl. 4 in 1. Let's get saucy. Oh, baby. Right, peeking in Rathmines. Who's that gorgeous young fella? Oh. Hi, can I get a chocolate 4 in 1, please? Right, well, they couldn't do it, but I have me 4 in 1, so I'm gonna do a little DIY job. Right, what one will I go for? You. We'll go with this. 4 in 1. Let's get saucy. Oh, stop. Cheers. I'll tell you what. Not bad. It's sweet. It's spicy. Do not knock it till you try it. Love a curry on a Saturday night. We've gone to Taiping in Dundrum. Now let me start by saying, if you're not gonna put brown tint in the egg fried rice, don't bother putting any tint in it. Okay, I don't want this yellow tint that I'm seeing in some places. It just makes me more concerned than anything else. Aside from that, I actually really enjoyed this. The spice bag was solid, good portion, and the sauces were nice and flavoursome. A couple of jalapenos floating about, but I don't mind those too much. So overall, I'll give this an 8.4. Solid turnout. Up the balls. Right, so last time I asked the chipper to batter a wagon wheel. This time I'm gonna see if they'll do a Jaffa cake. Marcella's and Finglas, the goat. Let's see if they can do it. Sorry, can you fry a Jaffa cake? One of these, you can fry this. Yeah. He's actually doing it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh my god. The first ever fried Jaffa cake. Cheers.
Nice.
It's golden. Look at that. That's unbelievable, boys. I'd probably prefer the wagon wheel, just because I'm not as big into orange chocolate, but my god, lads. If you are a Jaffa cake fan, get into the local chipper and ask them to make you a battered Jaffa cake. Right job. Well, boy, I'm down here in Cork, and people have been telling me to stop into Dace and Munch, and Dublin might have a lot of food reviewers, but Cork doesn't really have one. So what better man to give the people what they want? I like the shape of those chips, like a shovel to scoop up my famous sauce combo of garlic mixed with red sauce. The tenders were homemade as well, not spicy, but they were gigantic in fairness. I had a good few burgers to choose from, but I ended up going for the Fiend, which is a double smash with pepperoni and even a few twisty fries on there. I finished off with some Kinder Bueno cheesecake and a Biscoff milkshake. That was highly recommended by the locals. Apart from the tenders not being spicy, and I did feel the twisty fries were a little bit too much on the burger, I'd still give this spot an 8.9. The quality was on point. Up the rebels and up the balls. Happy Pancake Tuesday, and it wouldn't be a proper Pancake Tuesday without a monstrous creation from yours truly. And yes, before we start, I do use the pre-mixed stuff. And what? I'm not sitting there for 2 hours with eggs and flour when I could just have something much nicer. I tried to ease myself in because I never flipped a pancake before, but I tried it for the last one, and I have to say, I didn't make a complete fool of myself. I held me own in that kitchen. My toppings of choice were these white chocolate digestives I found, and some golden syrup, and just feast your eyes on the absolute carnage. Let me know what's going on your pancakes. I might go for round 2 later on. Up the balls. Whoever told you can't get good Mexican food in Ireland was lying out their bollocks. And I'm talking proper authentic Mexican food. This is masa on Camden Street. I started off with the patatas bravas, and then I got a combination of chicken and steak tacos. And they were nice. You know, I'm fairly experienced in the Mexican department. Soy acostumbrado de eso. I was fairly satisfied. But that was until these birria tacos came out. Apparently over in the States they're notorious for this. Putting grilled cheese on the outside of the tortilla. It was an absolute treat, and I had no choice but to wash this down with a margarita. I'd give this spot a 9 out of 10. Sígueme para más. Up the balls.
Okay, make sure it's on low.
Love a curry on a Saturday night, and this could be a top 3 spice bag I've ever had. This is Emerald House in Crumlin. Now they put pineapples in the sweet and sour sauce, which I wasn't too sure of, but I like pineapples, so I wasn't against it. The spice bag was a monstrous portion, plenty of chicken, but they did put veg on it unfortunately. Now they were big pieces which made it easier to pick around it, but still a bit of an inconvenience. The egg fried rice had plenty of brown tint, and the curry sauce blew the jokes off me, so I'm gonna give this an 8.8 out of 10. Let me know where I should go next. Up the balls. This could be the best thing I ever made in the 550 sandwich maker. It's been on a bit of a hiatus, but you better believe it's back with a bang. We start off with the foundation. I mix a bit of tuna together with mayonnaise and a pinch of salt. None of that bollocks over the deli counter. It's always laced with sweet corn. Can't be dealing with that rabbit food. Slap a couple of easy singles on there and 2 fish cakes. As always, we double deck that. Get your Coca noodles on there, or Apollo noodles in this case. Listen, times are tough. And top it off with your microwave chips. Lump all that into the 550 sandwich maker and just feast your eyes on the absolute carnage. This is one of my best concoctions, if I do say so myself. Up the balls. The chipper series is back. We've gone to the hamburger bar in Kilbarrack. Proper bag of chips out of here, lads. No bruises, hefty portion, just like the good old days. But those tenders were the opposite of the good old days. Fresh out of a recession, those things were. Tiny bit of flavour off them, but gone in 2 bites. The half pounder was monstrous, to be fair. I've been on the chicken burgers lately, but this brought back a bit of hope for me. And the same goes for that kebab tray. You know, sauced up to the gills. A bit of doner would have been nice. They don't offer a mixed version, but it still satisfied the craving. So overall, I'll give this an 8.1 out of 10. The tenders let them down, but very solid apart from that. Up the balls. Love a curry on a Saturday night. We've gone to Peking in Tala. Now, I've been to the one in Rathmines. I've been to the one in Liffey Street. And what I always like about here is that they do a dirty spice bag. Don't bother asking me what makes it dirty. I haven't the slightest. But when we're solely talking about spice bags, it's an absolute game changer. Now, the sauces were nice and thick, nice and flavoursome. Maybe the egg fried rice could have done with a bit more brown tint, but it still did the job. And I didn't realise they sold pizza as well. Nobody told me about that. But other than some minor details with the rice, I can't really fault this place too much. I'm going to give it a 9.4. Up the balls. The Chipper series is back, and we have a special one tonight. I'm in San Siro in Sallynoggin with the CEO of Sussy Sambos, Steve Brown. Proper bag of chips out of here, lads. They actually gave me extra chips, and I'd say the tenders were above average. Not spicy, but you know how it is. I'm probably not going to find one anywhere. The burger was a little bit sloppy, fell out of the bun a few times, but they don't call me nasty for nothing. But the kebab tray was loaded up to the gills. No cheese. I've probably gotten too used to that with the nasty kebab, but it works a treat. And Steve got himself a chicken wrap. Here's his thoughts.
Chicken tender wrap, all the glorious shit in that, man. Tops Cali has.
I think that was the weather in California he was referring to. Not really sure. But I'm going to give this a 7.9 out of 10. Respectable. Up the balls. I'm back on the hunt for the best chicken in Dublin. This is Cluck Chicken out in Walkinstown. And you know, anytime I go to a chicken spot, I have to go triple dipping. And they'd no buffalo sauce, which I found surprising. So I had to switch it up. I went for truffle sauce, the signature chicken gravy, and of course, the garlic sauce as well. The chips were nice and crispy. Those parmesan truffle tenders could have been the nicest I've ever had. But for the first time I think it's ever happened, I'm after getting a freebie. I think the lads knew who I was, and they threw in a portion of Korean barbecue wings. Now, I appreciate the gesture, but there is a reason I don't order them myself. I can't stand barbecue sauce, so it's nothing personal. I just didn't like them. And I got very excited when I seen this burger. It was loaded up to the gills. But if you want me to be honest, I thought it was a little bit overkill. Sometimes less is more, and I think without the cheese sauce, you could be onto a winner there. Overall, I'm gonna give this spot a 7.2. Really good quality stuff they're using, but just need to be a little bit more selective with the ingredients, in my opinion. Up the balls. The Chipper series is back. We've gone to San Marino in Dundrum. Now, I've been to San Marino quite a few times, and what I always respect about them is that you can tell they change the oil consistently. Nothing worse than getting a bag of chips and they're all black and blue as if they're after getting hacked by Casemiro. It's not too much to poxy ask for. The tenders weren't spicy, but they were still okay. And I don't usually go for a chicken burger, but I had a dream that I was being chased around the church with one. I'm not going to get into it anymore, but it wasn't great. And the kebab tray looked like it was about half empty, but as for what was there, it was absolutely scintillating. I'm gonna give this an 8.1 out of 10. Not the best San Marino I've had, but it still did the job. Up the balls. Excuse me. So I picked up a Burger King in the hopes of trying out their Christmas menu. But then I found out they don't have a Christmas menu. But I ended up getting 2 of everything I ordered. So that cheered me up. I placed the order on Just Eat. The driver never came, so I got it refunded. So then I placed the order again. And the driver turned up with not only the food I ordered, but the old order as well. Happy bleeding days. Now, the only new thing they seem to have out is this duo burger. So I got a beef one and a chicken one. And if you're asking for my consensus, I think they're both scrap, but the chicken clears it just marginally. I'll give the food a 5.8, but my experience is 7.5, because you can't complain about getting fed twice. Up the balls. My final day in Manchester for now, and I was gonna go to see the best stadium in the world, but I got too tired, so I went for a burger instead. This is MLK on Stretford Road, and I bumped into a fan before I went in.
Yo, bro, you're that guy on TikTok, innit?
Thank you, the balls and all balls, yeah?
It's nice to not get abused for once. These loaded chips did abuse me, however. Absolutely dripping out of it. And they do a platter with 4 types of wings. Nashville, sticky honey, smoking barbecue, and of course you have to have the buffalo in there. I finished off with a Nashville chicken burger, because I've had more smash burgers in the last week than Mia Khalifa. And you know the sus at this stage. I'll never say no to a cheeky tango. This gets a flat 9 out of 10. Certified carnage. Up the balls. Have I just found the best chicken spot in Dublin? And I'm not talking about any of these poxy chains like KFC. This is Texas fried chicken in Finglas. And you know, anytime I go to a chicken spot, I have to go triple dipping. Garlic sauce, Cajun sauce, and of course, the signature chicken gravy. Now what I like about here is the variety. I went for their fiery chicken drumsticks, which blew the jokes off me. But it didn't end there. I went for the chili and lime wings, which tasted a bit like Takis. And don't tell me you've ever seen anywhere doing raspberry wings. I wasn't sure about it myself, but they had that nice sweet to savoury balance. Absolutely scintillating. I finished off with the double strip burger, which was nice and succulent. And if you want me to be honest, I don't really know what I'd change about this. I'm gonna give it a 9.7. Utterballs. Well boy, I'm back down in Cork and I'm at a Chinese this time. This is Noodly in Fermoy and it was the best spice bag I've ever had. Well, I don't know if it was the best, but it was good. It was feckin' good, right? And I'd be quick enough to tell you if it wasn't. The egg fried rice had plenty of brown tint, which is always a good start. The spice bag ticked all the boxes. Good portion. It actually was spicy for once and it wasn't that bleeding rubber chicken I'm used to getting off most places. They have a spring weekly special on at the minute, so I tried a few bits off that as well. Chicken curry, beef and prawn curry, and a few gyozas as well. This was actually my first time trying soy sauce. I'm not sure why I never tried it before, because it's absolutely scintillating. Overall, I'd give this spot an 8.7. Very good portions and selections, but I tell you one thing, I don't know how anybody drinks that aloe vera drink. Stomach churning stuff. What the balls? I'm still on the hunt for the best pizza in Dublin. And I'm not talking about these overrated chains that rob your pockets. I'm looking for those hidden gems in the rough. This is perfect pizza in Kimmage. And we got off to a good start. The wedges were decent, and so were the tenders. Now, they weren't spicy, and a little bit undersized if I'm honest, but they were still okay flavour-wise. But this garlic bread was stone cold Steve Austin. Could have bounced it off someone's mallet. Proper weapon of a thing. But I finished off with a wild card. I got the signature Joe Rogan Elon Musk pizza, the same one they had in their podcast. Pineapple and anchovies. And I'll be honest with you lads, I don't approve of pineapple on pizza, but by God I approve of anchovies. A top 3 pizza topping in my eyes. Overall, this order had its highs and lows, so I'm gonna give it a 6.9. Utterballs. If you lock a man in his kitchen at 2 a.m. with a burger and a kebab, you better believe something glorious is going to come out the other end. I like to call this nasty lasagna. And it's quite simple. You have 5 ingredients. You chop up your nasty burger from GBK and your nasty kebab from Abracababra. Throw them into an oven tray and slap a few slices of red cheddar on there. Into the grill for about 5 or 10 minutes. And when everything's nice and melted, when they've had a chance to get to know each other, absolutely plaster it in my famous sauce combo of garlic and red sauce. This is an absolute blockbuster, and I would say it's a sharing platter, but you know what I'm like. I'm an absolute specimen. Cleared this thing in sub 15 minutes. A work of art. Up the balls. Is Domino's the best out of all the pizza chains? I don't know. Let's try it out. You can miss me with that barbecue sauce. Absolutely dirt. Give me the big boy. My signature combo of garlic mixed with red sauce. And Domino's garlic sauce is some of the best in the game. But unfortunately, the wedges are not. Far too soggy for my liking. And the same can be said about those chicken strips. Like biting into bleeding rubber they are. The garlic bread isn't bad, but it's a tenner. And it's about the size of a PS5 controller. The pizza, however, well, the pizza is quite nice, isn't it? Not too many bad things to say about that. I did order extra cheese, though. Doesn't look like there's enough cheese on that. But in terms of big pizza chains, I reckon you can get a better bang for your buck elsewhere. I'll give Domino's a 7.2. Up the balls.